Students, how are you all? Hope all of you are fit and fine at home. So now let's start our social science class. So students, in our earlier video, we have discussed about some interesting topics. Yes, so now also today we will discuss about some new topic. What will be the topic today? Yes, our today's topic will be mountains, valleys, hills, plateaus and deserts of India. Yes, so our today's topic will be mountains, valleys, hills, plateaus and deserts of India. We will discuss about all these landforms which are there in India. So now let's start with first mountains. Students, tell me what are mountains? Yes, anyone knows what is a mountain? Some of you would be knowing that what is a mountain. Let's study. A mountain is a landform. So what is a mountain? A mountain is a landform. It is a form of land that rises high above its surrounding. So it rises high above its surrounding. A mountain is taller than a hill. So a mountain is taller than a hill. A mountain usually has steep slopes. So a mountain also have a steep slopes and has a rounded or sharp peak. So a mountain also have a rounded or sharp peak. Now you understood what is a mountain. Let's recall again. A mountain is a landform that rises high above its surroundings. It is taller than a hill, usually has steep slopes and has a rounded or sharp peak. Now, groups of mountains are called ranges. So, when there are groups of mountains on the same place, those groups of mountains are called ranges. So, when there are groups of mountains, we call them ranges. Okay. Now we will talk about the mountains which are there in India. Mountains of India. India is a home of some mountain ranges in the world. So, India is a home of some of the mountain ranges, a group of mountains. Yes, mountain ranges means a group of mountains in the world. So, India is a home of some of the group of mountains in the world or mountain ranges in the world. In India, mountains are also called jewels of India. So in our country, India, mountains are called jewels of India. They are the jewels of India. They are the jewelry of India. Mountains of India. Now we will talk about some of the mountains which are there in India. Some of the mountains of India are Kanchenjunga mountain, which is in the state Sikkim. Second, Nanda Devi mountain, which is in the state Uttarakhand. Saltora Kangri mountain is in the state Jammu and Kashmir. Mountain Kamet is in a state Uttarakhand. Mountain Saramati is in Nagaland state. So we have discussed about these 5 mountains of India, but there are many more mountains of India which are there in India. So you can find out many more mountains which are there in India, but you can learn these mountains of India also. Now we will talk about hills. Yes. Now tell me, what is a hill? Let's study. A hill is a landform. Just like a mountain, a hill is also a landform. A hill is a landform that is higher than its surroundings. So, a hill is also having higher than a surrounding. Yes, a hill is also higher than its surroundings and is smaller than a mountain. But a hill is smaller than a mountain. Okay, it is not as steep as a mountain. So, the hill slopes are not as steep as a mountain. So, now you can tell me, what is a hill? Yes, let's recall once again. A hill is a landform that is higher than its surroundings, is smaller than a mountain, and it is not as steep as a mountain. Okay, this is a picture of a hill. Now, hills of India. We will talk about hills of India, our country. Hills of India are home to wide range of plants and animals. So, the hills of India are home to lots of plants and animals. On the hills of India, lots of plants grow and wild animals also live. Now we will talk about hills of India. We will talk some of the hills which are there in our country, India. First hill of India is Shivalik Hill. Second is Cardamom Hill. Third is Palani Hill. Fourth is Nilgiri Hills. And fifth is Tiger Hill. So I have taken only 5 hills of India. But there are many more hills in India. You can find other names of the hills also which are there in India. Okay, students. Now we will talk about plateau. I know some of you know about plateau because you have already studied what is a plateau. Are you seeing this picture? This picture is of plateau. Yes? So let's study what is a plateau. A plateau is a flat, elevated landform that rises sharply above the surrounding area. So what is a plateau? A plateau is also a landform and it is flat, but it is elevated. Elevated means rises rises from the land or from the plain that rises sharply above the surrounding area. So you are seeing that a plateau is there, a landform is there in this picture which is flat and is elevated landform that rises sharply from the surrounding area. Are you seeing that it is rising sharply above its surrounding area? This is called plateau. Plateau is also called tableland. You are seeing it is just looking like a table. So, the plateau is also called tableland. Let's recall once again. What is a plateau? A plateau is a flat, elevated landform that rises sharply above the surrounding area. It is also called tableland. Now understood what is a plateau? Now we will talk about plateaus of India. The peninsular plateau of India is also named as the plateau of peninsular India. So, why we call it as a peninsular plateaus? Because these plateaus of India are toward the southern part of our country. And you know that our southern part of the country is known as a peninsular India. Yes, and why we say it peninsular India? Because what does peninsular means? Yes, students, I know you know because I have already told you. What is peninsula? Peninsula is a landform which is surrounded three sides with a water body, and our southern part of India is surrounded by three water body. Yes, three water bodies. Which are those? Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and Indian Ocean. That's why we call the plateaus also plateaus of peninsular India, or we call them as the peninsular plateaus, because these plateaus are also towards the southern part of our country, India. Understood? The peninsular plateau of India is also named as the Plateau of Peninsular India. It is of immense use for India because why is plateaus important for our country India? Why? Let's study. It is a storehouse of minerals. So the plateaus are the storehouse of minerals like iron ore, bauxite, gold, copper, coal, manganese, mica, etc. These all minerals are found on plateaus. Second, its black soil are very productive. So, the plateaus are having black soil, and the black soil are very productive to grow cotton crops. So, if we want to grow cotton crop requires black soil, which is available on the plateaus of our country. Now we will talk about the plateaus of India. We are talking about some of the major plateaus of India, which are the Central Highland, the Malwa Plateau, the Chota Nagpur Plateau, the Meghalaya Plateau, and the Deccan Plateau. So we are talking just about some of the major plateaus. There are many more plateaus which are there in India. So you can just find out what are the names of those plateaus. Now we will discuss about valley. What is valley, students? Do you know what is a valley? Yes, some of you would be knowing, but let's discuss now. What is a valley? A valley is a low area between hills or mountains. So a valley is a low area. In this picture, you are seeing this area. This area is a valley. So it is between two mountains, one mountain and the second mountain. So you are seeing this area is a valley. A valley is a low area between hills or mountains. Now we will talk about the valleys in India. The great mountain ranges and rivers of India creates few of most beautiful valleys in the world. So the great mountain ranges and the rivers of India creates few of most beautiful valleys in the world. These valleys have waterfall, flowers and national park to provide home for variety of plants and animals. So do you know what is national park, students? Yes, national park is a natural habitat for the wild animals, and it is being created by the government where the animals are free to move here and there. It is just like a natural forest. Okay. These valleys have waterfalls, flowers and national parks to provide home for variety of plants and animals. Now we will talk about the valleys which are there in India. We will talk of some of the valleys which are there in India. Kashmir Valley, which is in Jammu and Kashmir state. Second, Kangra Valley, which is in Himachal Pradesh state. Valley of Flowers is in Uttarakhand state. Dibang Valley is in Arunachal Pradesh state. And Araku Valley is in Andhra Pradesh state. So these 5 valleys in India we have discussed, but there are many more valleys which you can find out and you can understand, you can learn the names of those valleys. Now we will talk about desert. Are you seeing this picture? This is a desert. Now tell me, what is a desert? Yes? Do you know? Yes. So let's discuss. A desert is a barren area. So what do you mean by a barren area? You would be thinking, ma'am, what is a barren area? Yes. So barren area is an area, is a land where few things can grow. Very few things can grow. So, and the land is not very fertile. So that area is known as barren. A desert is a barren area of landscape. So a desert is a barren area where only few things are grown, where very little rainfall occurs. So in a desert, very little rainfall occurs, and living conditions are not favorable for plants and animal life. So as there is very little rainfall and water is not available on the desert, and the area, the land is barren in the desert, so the living conditions are not favorable for plants and animal life. Deserts are extremely dry and may be either very hot or very cold. So the desert can be very cold also and very hot also. And deserts are extremely dry. And why they are extremely dry? Because there is very little rainfall occurring, yes, in that region. Now, where are deserts found? Yes, where are deserts found? Deserts are often found towards the west of the continents. So, basically, deserts are found towards the west of the continents. Now, how many continents do we have? Yes, students, do you know how many continents do we have in the world? Yes, we have 7 continents. Yes, so we have 7 continents, and in 7 continents we have the deserts towards the west of the continents. Now, deserts in India. India serves as home to multiple deserts. So India is also a home for multiple deserts. India has prominent barren regions in the northwestern, western and southern parts. So in India, where are the deserts? Deserts are in the northwestern part, western part and the southern part of our country. Now let's discuss which are the deserts which are there in our country, India. We have 3 deserts in India. Which are they? First, Trans-Himalaya Desert, which is north of the Great Himalayas, which is towards north of the Great Himalayas. Second is White Salt Desert of Kutch, or it is also called Rann of Kutch, which is in Gujarat state. Third, the Great Indian Desert, or the Thar Desert, is in Rajasthan. So, the Great Indian Desert or the Thar Desert of Rajasthan. These are the 3 deserts which are found in India. Now, you would be thinking that, ma'am, what does this Rann means? Yes, Rann of Kutch. Kutch is a place in Gujarat, but what does this Rann mean? Let's discuss. R-A-N-N, Rann, means desert. Okay, so Rann means desert only. That's why we are talking Rann of Kutch, desert of Kutch. Rann means desert in Hindi, which in turn is derived from Sanskrit word Rina, okay, which also means desert. So Rann means desert in Hindi, and this Run is also derived from a Sanskrit word irina, which also means desert. So run basically means desert. So that's why we have used here white salt desert of Kutch or run of Kutch. Now students, we have already discussed about, we have today discussed about what? We have discussed about mountains, we have discussed about hills, we have discussed about valleys, we have discussed about plateaus, and we have discussed about the deserts of India. So we have discussed about all these landforms of India and some of the mountains, valleys, hills, plateaus and deserts which are there in our country, India. So students, just see this video once again, listen the video, understand what is mountain, plateaus, hills, valley and desert, and try to learn the names of some of the desert, mountain, hills, valleys and plateaus. Thank you and have a